So let's quickly create that another file. So what I'm going to do on this folder, just simply right click, new, and then Python file. Okay, and this Python file name you can write it login. Okay, login page dot py. Okay, like this. Now we have to create a login page. So let me just show you how this login page will look like. So here, if I go in this, and here is my login.py file. Yeah, here. Okay, if I run this one, so this is my login.py file. So we'll see how we can create this. So first of all, this background image which you see in the pink color. Okay, after that this frame, white frame, and then this is the image here. Okay, then this is a label, email label, then its corresponding entry field, then the password label, then its corresponding entry field. Then these are the two buttons here. Register new account, this is a button, and this forget password, this is a button, and then this login button. Okay, that's it. So let's first create the GUI part, and then we will see the coding functionality. Okay, so let me just open this one. Okay, and first of all, to create the GUI we will be requiring tkinter module. So I'm simply importing it, import star. Okay, so this will help us to import the tkinter module. Next thing is we have to create the window. So how we can create the window? The same way. So we will be using our tkinter class here, create that particular window. So tk class, and we have to create the object of this tk class. So I'm storing it in root or root one, it's up to you. Okay, you can use root also, it will not have any changes, but it's just that here we have used root, so I'm simply using uh, root one here. Okay, or you can give any variable name. Let's go with window this time. Okay, window. So this is a window. Okay, then to hold this window we will use main loop. Okay, now if I run this, a small window will be created there. Okay, if you see, we have a window now. Okay, now the next thing is we need to fix the size of it, and also we need a few images that we will be requiring. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to my project, the source code. You guys also can go to that particular source code, and then right click and just open that in Explorer. Okay, so maybe you must be having that particular folder somewhere in your directory. You can simply open that, and from there you have to copy I think two images, this one and then this one. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so these are the two images, login bg.png and then user.png. These are the two images which we will be using. Okay, so just right click and simply copy these two images. Okay, so once you'll copy it, now you can go to your project, ongoing project, and there right click and simply click on this paste button. Okay, and then refract simply. Okay, so we have this login bg.png, this one, and the other image that I copied was user.png. Okay, so we got two images there, right? So after this, let's just create the GUI. Okay, let's just simply set the size of our window. Okay, so let me just close these images first. Okay, so in this window I'll be setting the size. So I'm going to write window dot geometry. Okay, and inside this geometry I'll pass the width and the height. So width is 900 and the height is 600. Okay, and then from x-axis I'll place it at a distance of 50, and from y-axis also I'll place it at a distance of 50. Okay, the next thing is the title. On the title bar, which you'll see, so window.title. Okay, and in this I'll write login page. Okay, since it's a login page. Okay, then the next thing is, if I run right now, you see we got this window of the width that we provided and the height that we provided. Okay, and then our title bar at this position. Next thing is, after creating geometry and title, then we have to create a background image. We have to add the background image. So first of all, I'm going to add the background login image. Okay, this is the variable name I am giving, and we will be using a photo image class to create this object, and file, the file name, because this file is in the same directory where we have this login page.py file. So the image name is loginbg.png. Okay, loginbg.png. Okay, next thing is, I need to add this image on a label. Okay, so we will create a label here. So bg login label, okay, and here it will be a label class, and this label will be on my root window. And next thing is the image, and image will be bg login image. Okay, next thing is, I'll simply place it. So bg login image dot place dot place. Oh, and I'm still here. Oh, this cannot be root here. Okay, this has to be window. So I want to place it inside my window, right? This label has to be inside a window. So this place, and where I'll place this, from x-axis at a distance of 0, and from y-axis at a distance of 0. If I run now, photo image has, oh, I made a mistake. This will be bg login label, login label dot place, right? That's why it's giving error that bg login image object has no attribute place. Okay, because I was using place with this. Okay, so we got a window here, means this background image. Next thing is, we need to create a frame. So just after this, we will create a frame, and make sure you write everything between this main loop. Okay, so here we will create a frame. So frame equals to frame class. Okay, this frame will be inside our window, and next thing is the width that I'll provide as 560. Okay, and next the height I'll provide as 320. Okay, and the background color I'll set it to white. Okay, next thing is, I'll simply place this, so frame dot place, and where I'll place it, from x at a distance of 180, and from y at a distance of 140. If I run it, so this is created like this, right? This frame is created. Now what we need to do, we need to add a image at this position, user image. So just after creating this frame, I'll be adding a user image. So let me just create an object first. So photo image class, and here I'll pass the file name. So file name is user.png. Okay, and now this user.png, this user image will be on a label. So user image label, and I'll be using a label class, and this label will be inside a frame. Okay, this label will be inside a frame. Next thing is the image. So image equals to this user image. Okay, and I'll simply place it. So user label, image label dot place, and where I'll place it, from x at a distance of 0, of 50. Okay, now if I run this, got this image here. Okay, next thing, we need to change the background color of this image. Okay, the background color, I want to make it similar to this white, like the background color of this frame. Okay, so just after this you image, I'll write bg for background color as white. Okay, now if I run this, so you got white background color, right? Next thing is the email label, then the entry field, then the password label and the entry field, and then two buttons, register new account and forget password, and then a login button. Okay, so let's create that. So after this label, user image label, then we have to create a mail label. Okay, mail label, and this will be a label. Okay, this label will be inside a frame. The text that will be written will be email. Okay, next thing is the font for this text. Font I'll be using Arial. Size will be 22. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll simply make it bold. Next thing is I will simply mail label dot place. I'll simply place this label. So from x-axis at a distance of 220 and from y at a distance of 70. If I run now, see we got this. But what I want that the this, if you see closely, that the background color is not matching with the background color of our frame. So what I'll do, I'll change the background color. So comma bg equals to white. Okay, so we got this background color email. Okay, next thing is we need to create a email entry. Okay, so it will be a mail entry, and we'll be using entry class here. Entry class will be inside this frame, and then the font. So let's create that forget password. So what I'll do, I'll create a button here, forget button, and we'll use a button class. Okay, this button will be inside a frame window. Next thing is the text is forget password. Okay, next is the font for this text. So the font is Arial and the size is 12. Okay, and the same thing that I do not want any border, so I'll remove the border. Okay, then what I want, that when I bring my cursor or pointer on that particular button, it should change to hand to symbol. If I run this, you see we got this button. Okay, we change the background color to black, we change the text color to white. Okay, so everything is done here. So we are done with this button also. Okay, and see here, when I'm clicking on this button, the background color which you are seeing is white. Okay, this is known as active background color, and the active foreground color which you are seeing is black. Okay, the color of the text. So we can change both of them. Okay, so we are done with the GUI part of this login page, and if I click on this login button, nothing is happening here. Similarly on this button, nothing is happening. Similarly on this button, nothing is happening. Okay, so let's do the coding part. So first of all, let me just do the coding part for this register new account. Okay, so when I will click on this register new account, what will happen, that we will be redirected to that registration form. Okay, For that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide a command to this register now button. Command equals to register window. Okay, this is the command name. Now what we need to do, we need to define this command. Okay, so at the top I'll define this command. So just before creating this window, here at the top, let me just give a comment here that this is the GUI part, and just before this we'll do the functionality part. So here we'll define all the functions. Okay, so we have to define this def register underscore window. So this is the function name, and what we need to do, we have to go to this register.py file, right? We have to go to this register.py file. So what I'm going to do in this, I'm simply going to first of all destroy this window, this GUI window login page, and then we will be simply going to that particular window. Okay, so for that, what we have to do here, I'll simply write first of all root window dot destroy. Okay, so our window will be destroyed. This window, this complete GUI part will be destroyed, closed. Okay, and after this, what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to import this register file. Okay, this register file, register.py file. Okay, I'm importing here. So now if I run this, so if I click on this register new account, so see that window got destroyed. Okay, and this register form is imported. Okay, so this is how it works. Similarly, on this login button, I'll give a command to open that login page. Okay, so if I move to this area in this register.py file, so on clicking on the login button that we created, yeah, this was the login button that we created. Okay, I'll give a command here, command equals to login window. Okay, so let me define this command. So I'll define it just before this clear function. So def login window. Okay, and inside this login window, we will first of all destroy this window. So root dot destroy. Okay, first of all I will close this window, and then the next thing is I'll simply import this login page. Okay, this login page file. And so now if I run this one, this file register.py, click this run here. So if you see this, that if I click on this login button, so we are redirected to this page, right? So this is how it works. The next thing that I wanted to show you, that once a user completes its registration, okay, once everything is written, and if I click on this register now button, okay, what will be the message box, that registration is successful. So if the message box displayed is registration is successful, so after that what I want to simply close this window and import that particular window login page, right? So what I'll do, I'll simply close this window and open that login page. Okay, when I am clicking on when I'm getting a message that registration is successful. After this message, okay, after this message is displayed, what I'll do, first of all, I'll destroy the window. So root dot destroy, okay, and next thing is I'll simply import this login page, okay. So now if I run this and do a new registration, so just to show you, okay, Trina, yeah, and then the contact number, okay, and then the email, okay, this friend name, okay, password, so 123, oh, 1234, okay, and then here 1234, okay. And if I click on agree terms and condition, if I click this register now button, so registration is successful, okay. So whenever when see I'm receiving this message, and after that what I had written that firstly this window will be destroyed, and then I have imported that login page. So the same thing will happen here, right? So this is the functionality. So now this registration.py file is completed, okay. We have done the functionality for the login button, okay, and then for the after successful registration, we are simply importing the login page, right? So this registration.py file is completed now. After that, in this login page.py, I have completed the coding for the register new account, okay. If I show you, the coding part for this register new account is done. Now we need to do the coding part for these two buttons only, okay, this login button and then this forget password. So first of all, let's do the coding for this login button. So what I want, that if there is nothing inside these particular entry fields, okay, in these entry field and in this entry field, so error message should be displayed that there is nothing inside these two fields, okay. So fields cannot be empty, something like that. So let's do it. So here what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to define a function here, def sign in, okay. This is the function, and from where I'll call this function, I'll call this from login button, okay. So here I'll give a command equals to sign in, okay, without parentheses, because we only pass the reference and not call it from here, okay. So in the sign in function, first thing we will check if mail entry dot get equals to null, okay. If this is null, or this password entry dot get, this is null, okay. If anyone will be null, okay, if any of the entry fields will be null, then we will simply display a message box, okay. So before displaying a message box, we will have to import it. So I'm going to write here from tkinter import message box, okay. Now we can use this message box here. So message box dot show error, okay. I'll show error. So first of all, the title will be error, okay. Then the message will be all fields are required, okay. All fields are required. So if I run now, and there's nothing inside these two entry fields, if I click this login button, so we are getting all fields are required message box, okay. Next thing is, we will match with the correct username or password, whether user is entering correct email ID or password or not, okay. We will match it with the database, okay. So what we will do in the database, for example, a particular record is saved, okay. From that particular row, I will match the email and password, means this email and this password is existing in that particular row or not. If it is existing, then we will receive a message that's successful. If that in that particular row email and password are not same, okay, then we will display a message that wrong invalid username or password. So let's do that. So first of all we have to connect with the database here. So we'll go to the else part here. Okay, after if we'll have else part, and in this else part I'm simply going to connect with the database. So the same way we will be using here. So we have to use PyMySQL. We have already installed that, so we can simply use here. So PyMySQL. Okay, so you have to write import PyMySQL. Okay, so after importing you can use here PyMySQL dot connect. Okay, and here the same thing we will do. First of all, the host is localhost. Okay, so after providing the host here, next thing is the user is my name, and then the password is 1234, and then the next thing is the database. So what is the database? So database that I created was register. Okay, so that's it. This is the thing. uh, Now this method will simply connect with that particular database. Okay, register database. Okay, and next thing is we have to create a cursor. So what we'll going to write con dot cursor. Okay, so I'm simply storing it in any variable cur. Okay, after creating the cursor, next thing is we will simply execute our command. So execute, and we will execute select star from student table where email equals to percentage and password equals to percentage. Okay, and then the password and email that we will get is from here. So mail entry dot get. Okay, then comma, and then password entry dot get. Okay, so what query I am writing here? I am writing select star from student. Okay, so student is a table. Student is a table. So from student table select all those rows where email equals to this email. Okay, the user which is typing, and the password equals to this password. Okay, so what I am doing, I am simply getting all those rows where email and password are these two. Okay, this is the email that we will get from the entry field, and this is the password that we will get. Okay, then after executing this query, then we will fetch that row. Okay, that particular row. So we'll write cur dot fetch, sorry, fetch one. Okay, and this will fetch us a row, and we will store that in a row variable. Okay, so that particular row is fetched. Okay, suppose if user types dia at the rate sharma at the rate gmail.com. Okay, and the password is 1234. Okay, if that particular row is existing, that particular row is existing, so that row will be inside this row variable. Now what we will do, we will simply check a condition here. If this row is equals to none, means there's nothing inside this row. Okay, means we are not able to get any row. Okay, that means the user has entered wrong id and wrong password, or wrong password. Okay, so in that case what I'll do, I'll simply display a message box dot show error, and the title error, and then the message displayed. So what a message I'll display? Invalid email or password. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Let me just run this, and before running let me just show you what is in my database. Okay, so that you can understand what I'm telling you. So MySQL command line client. Okay, password 1234. Okay, so show databases. Okay, then use register. Okay, because I want to use register database. Okay, now I want to see all the tables. Which are the tables? So show tables. Okay, we have only one student table. So what I'll do, I'll simply check the description of this student table. Okay, so this is the description. Now what I'll do, I'll simply uh, select all the rows. Okay, so select star from from student table. Okay, so from student table all the rows will be displayed. So these are the three uh, rows. Okay, so first is Tanmay, then other one is Faizan, and then Katrina. Okay, so these are the three rows here. So when I have written that particular query here, this one, select a star from a student where email and password is this. Okay, so if you will write in the entry field, if you will write in the entry field this email ID, or maybe this one, okay, cap@gmail.com, this email ID and this password. Okay, if you will write this, so in that row variable, in that row variable, in this row variable, you will get this row, this complete row, this complete row. Okay, and then after that what it is checking, that if row equals to null. See, row is right now not equals to none, because in that we are having this, we are having this row, last one. Okay, so in that case we will move to the else part. Okay, so in else part what I'll do, else part I'll simply show a information box, show info with the title success. Okay, success, and then the message will be welcome. Okay, welcome, that's it. Okay, means there is some row, so means you have written correct username and password, and we will move to this else part. Mean, and if you have written email ID correctly and password you have not written, so in this particular row email ID and password will not match, right? So this row will not be inside row variable. Okay, so then you will get this condition will be true, none one. Okay, then we will receive this error message box. Okay, so let me just try this. So caf at the rate gmail.com. Okay, this was the data, this was the email ID that I have given. Suppose if I give a wrong password here. Okay, so in this row variable, in this row variable you will receive none. Okay, you will receive none, because this with this email ID and this password there is no record. If I click on login, so invalid email or password, right? Similarly, if you write any other email, like random anything, then also you will receive the same message, that invalid email or password. Okay, and now if I write correct email ID and correct password, which was 1234, and if I click this login button, so see welcome. Okay, means I have given the correct username and password. So I hope you understood how these two conditions are working, if and then else, right? Just after this, so we are done with the sign up button also. Okay, we just need to uh, provide try and error thing here. Okay, in this else part, let me just provide a try and error. so that try and accept, so that if there is any exception which will occur. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply provide indentation here, and just after this else part, what I want to simply close. What I should close, I have to close the that database. So I'll write con dot close. See, I have connected it. Okay, here in this con variable. So I'll simply close it now after using it. Okay, and after closing it, so we will move to the exception. Except exception as E. Okay, so whichever exception will occur, that will be stored in E. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll simply display a message box dot show error. Okay, and here the title is error. Next thing is I'll be using the f string so that I can use this variable, and here I'll write error is due to, and then this variable name. So variable name has to be in curly braces. Okay, so this is a variable name. Okay, that's it. So this is the thing we had to do. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood now. So it will work fine. I have just given if there is any kind of exception, so that you will receive. Okay, so the functionality part for this is done. Okay, I hope you guys have understood till here. Okay, Anudeep asked how to hide the password entered. Okay, see, if I type my password here, 1234. Okay, so this is visible to us. Okay, so to hide this password, what we can do in this where we have created password entry here, right? So here what you can do is after this background color, you have to write another keyword argument, that is show, and in this show, in the form of a string, whatever character you want to show in place of that. So I want to show star, so now you will see stars. Okay, so whatever I'll type, you will see in the form of stars. Okay, so this is how it is done. Same way you can do in this register form also, where you are writing password and confirm password. Okay, so entry password, right? So here you can show equals to star. Similarly, in this confirm password entry also, the same thing you can do, show equals to star, right? So now if I run this, so whatever you will write, that will be shown in the form of stars only, right? So this is how it is done. Now you don't know what I have written here, right? So it's done. The next thing after this is we have to create the functionality for forget password. Okay, so run login page. Okay, so we are done with the we are done with this login button. We are done with this register new account. Next thing is this forget password. So right now if I click this, nothing will happen. Okay, because I have not added any functionality to this forget password. So let's add the functionality. So first of all, what I'll do, I'll simply provide a command to this. Okay, so let me just give a command name. So what command name should I give? I'll give sign up or reset password. So where is this forget button? Here. So here what I'll do, command equals to reset password. Okay, reset password. Okay, reset underscore password. You can give any function name here. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to define this function. What will be the functionality in this one? So just before this def register window, I'll be defining this. So here I'm going to write def reset password, reset underscore password, underscore password. Okay, Okay, and here def reset password. What I want, first of all, I'll be checking a condition here. Just before running this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you my original project first. So where's that? I think this one. Okay, so in this one, if I run login, okay, see if I'm clicking on this button right now, it's saying please enter the email address to reset your password. Okay, so we will firstly apply this condition. So let's do this. Yes, yeah. Okay, so firstly we will check if both the entry fields are empty or not. So we will write if mail entry dot get equals to null. Okay, if this is equals to null, we will simply show a message box dot show error. Okay, so the error will be please enter the email address to reset your password. Okay, this error message will be displayed. So let's do this and see if it works. Okay, so if I click on this, see, oh sorry, I have to click on this forget password. Okay, so if I click on this, we are getting the message, right? Please enter the email address to reset your password, right? So what will happen, the user after receiving this message, the user will enter the email address. Okay, so we will move to the else part. Okay, we'll move to the else part. Else else means that user has written, means this field is not empty, the user has written the password, right? So in the else part, we will again connect with our database. So I'll write con equals to mysql dot connect. Okay, and here again the host name, I'll pass localhost, then the user equals to, then the password. Okay, next is database. Databases register. Okay, this is the database here. So we are connected with the database. Then we have to create a cursor. So on dot cursor. Okay, this cursor will help in execution. So cur. Okay, is the variable name. Now what we need to do, after creating the cursor, we will simply execute our query. Okay, this time what query I should execute? I'll simply see if I tell you what I'm going to do. If you see here, forget password. Okay, please enter the email address to reset your password. Okay, so what will happen here? If I write a correct email address, okay, gmail.com. Okay, this is the email address that is stored in the database. Okay, so if I click this forget password, see we are getting this window displayed. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to write a particular that email address which is in the database. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply match this. I'll match this with the database, with the data that is stored in the database, if this email address exists or not. Okay, so let's match it. So here in this, what I'll write select star from student table, okay, where email equals to percentage. Okay, so we will simply get that particular row where email equals to percentage. Okay, so what is this percentage? Percentage is nothing but mail entry dot get, right? So this percentage will be replaced with this. So whatever you will write in the mail entry, that particular row will be fetched. Okay, so if you are writing something nonsense, means that particular email id doesn't exist, so you will receive no row. Okay, so the same thing we will be doing here also. We'll firstly fetch that particular row, fetch one. Okay, if this will return some row that will be stored in this variable, okay, then we will simply check that if row equals to if this row equals to none, means there is no uh, row which has this email address, right? If there is no row which has this email address, then this if condition will be true. And if this if condition will be true, we will simply display a message box dot show error. Okay, the title error. And what will be the error here? Error will be, please enter the valid email address. Please enter the valid email address. Okay, so this is the thing that we will be doing. Please enter the valid email address. So let's just run this and check it. Okay, if I show you this database, so if you see these three email addresses are only existing. Okay, cap at the rate, Fazan at the rate, and tanmay at the rate gmail.com. Okay, so what I'm going to do, yeah, so I have run this. Okay, if I click on this forget password, we will get please enter the email address to reset your password. If I write any random email address at the rate gmail.com, so this email address doesn't exist in our database. Okay, so it will say all fields are required. No, I have to click on this forget password. Okay, it says please enter the valid email address. So this is the condition we applied. Okay, so after displaying this message box that please enter the valid email address, so if you will find no row, okay, corresponding to that particular email address, so this error message box will be displayed. But if there is the user types the correct answer and the row variable will not be none, okay, there will be some row inside this row variable. So this if condition will not be true, and we will move to the else part. Okay, so in the else part, we will only go when the user has typed a correct email address which is existing in the database. Okay, so in this else part, first of all, what I'll do, I'll simply close the connection. Okay, con dot close. Okay, the database that I have created, firstly I'll simply close it here. And next thing is that I'll be creating another window which you saw, forget password window, right? If I show you that window, if I run this one, okay, so if I write correct uh, email ID which is existing in database, if I click on this forget password, so we are displayed with this window. Okay, so we have to create this particular window. Okay, so this window which is on top of this main window, okay, so this window is known as top level. Okay, this top level window, so we have to create this top level window because this is on top of another window. Okay, so let's create this top level window. Yeah, so let's create this. So in this else part, after closing the connection, I'll create a window here. So I'll write root 2, this is a variable name. Okay, and this top level. Okay, so this top level is a window here. Okay, next thing is I have to keep this window on hold, so I'll write root dot main loop. Okay, root 2 dot main loop, right? So if I run this right now, you'll see a window. So first of all, if I click on forget password, please enter address to reset your password. Now if I enter a correct Gmail like tanmay@gmail.com, okay, so this is the email address that is existing in our database. Now if I click on this forget password, see we are getting a window here, okay, so this is known as top level window. Next thing is everything is same in this window also, same methods we can use like geometry, like title, all those. So we will use that. So first of all, I'll be setting the title root2 dot title. Okay, so the title that I'm going to use is forget password. Okay, next thing is the geometry. So I'm going to write root2 dot geometry to set the size and height and width. Okay, so 470 is the width, x 560 is the height. Okay, and from x-axis at a distance of 400 and from y-axis at a distance of 60. Okay, next thing is I want to provide a background color to our window. Okay, so I'm going to provide like this root2 dot config. Okay, the background color that I'm going to use is equals to white. Okay, so I'll make my background white. So till here if I run now, so I have to every time enter correct email Gmail ID to able to see that window. So now you see we got this white color and then title here and then the size of this window. And from x-axis it is at a distance of 400 and from y-axis it is at a distance of 60. Okay, okay, so next thing is I'll focus on this window. Okay, so how I can focus on this window? If you see right now the focus is not on that particular window, this window. Okay, so how I can get the focus there? So I'll have to write root2 dot focus force. Okay, this one, focus force method. So this will provide a focus on our window. Okay, if I run this to show you, see now there is focus on our window, right? No, it's fine, right? And next thing is when I'm clicking here, any other place, this window is getting minimized, right? So I don't want that. So for that, what I'll set a grab. I'll simply grab. So I'll write root2 dot grab set. Okay, this grab set will not allow this window to be minimized whenever I'll click anywhere else. So if I simply enter your mail ID and click on this forget password. So see this window is getting displayed. Now if I click somewhere else, see this window is not getting minimized, right? So this is the focus that we are setting here. Okay, and see this window will not be closed also, the earlier window. The reason is because this window is open. Okay, this window is on focus right now, so I have to close this window, then this window will be closed. Okay, so this thing I have done here. I hope everyone is understanding. Next thing is the forget label that you saw, forget label. Okay, if I just show you what things we need to create here. Yeah, let me just run this again, and here let me enter a correct email address. Okay, then forget password. So see what things we need to create. First thing is this forget password. Okay, this is a label. So this forget is of different color, then password is of different color. So we will simply create two labels, okay, at some particular distance so that we can give separate colors to these labels. After that, I have added an image here, so we'll see how to add this image. Okay, then after that, this again a label, security questions, then a combo box, okay, with all those security questions which we answered during registration, and then answer field, and then new password field, and then a button change password. So let's first create this UI quickly. Okay, so I hope you understood till here. So first thing that I'll be creating, just grabbing it, is the forget label. Okay, so this is a forget label, and we'll use a label class to create this, and this label will be inside our root to window. Okay, because this is our root to window. Okay, so make sure you write root to here. Okay, because I want this label inside my this window, this particular window. The next thing is the text, which you will see is forget written, only forget. Okay, and then the font here will be Times New Roman. Okay, the size here will be 22, and then it will be bolder. The next thing is, yeah, after this, I'll change the background color to white. Okay, so that it matches with the background color of our root window. Okay, that's it. So after this, what we need to do, we need to place it. So what I'll write, forget label dot place. Okay, and there I'll place this from x at a distance of 128, and from y at a distance of 10. That's it. Okay, so if I run now, so you will see forget written there. Okay, so I have to enter correct email address. Okay, forget password. You see forget is written here, right? Just after this, we have to create a password which is in green color. Okay, color of the text is green. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to copy this line, because we have to create the same label. I'll paste here. So instead of forget label, now I'll name this forget pass label. Okay, pass label, and instead of forget text, it will be password. Okay, and background color will be white. The color of the text here will be green. Okay, then where we will place it, from x at a distance of 225 to 5, and from y axis it will be at a distance of 10 only. Okay, so now if I run this, so mute everyone. Yeah, so if I click on this forget password, so see we got this forget and then password label, right, which is in green color. Okay, this looks cool. Okay, next after this we have to add an image here, right? So add that image. So let's add that image. So I don't think here we have this that particular image, so I have to get that particular image from the source code. Okay, so I open it in my explorer. Then I'll simply copy that image. So I think this one, yeah. So I'll simply copy it and I will paste in my project here. Okay, so Control V, and I'll paste like this, refract. Okay, so I got this password image. Now what we need to do, we need to add this particular image on a label. Okay, so first of all let me create object of this image. So password image equals to photo image class. Okay, and inside this we have to pass the file name, which is password.png. Okay, next thing is we have to create a label here. Okay, so forget image label. So or pass image. Okay, pass image label, any name you can give. Okay, so this has to be a label. Okay, on this label, this label will be on my root 2 window. Next thing is that the image here will be, image will be password image, password image. Okay, okay, next thing is I'll simply place it. So password image label dot place. Okay, where I'll place this, from x-axis at a distance of 170 and from y-axis at a distance of 70. So now if I run this, okay, so this is the image we are getting here. The next thing is that I want to change the background color to white. Okay, this is not white. Okay, so I'll change that. So forget pass, after image, what I'll do, I'll change the background color to white here. Okay, the next thing after creating this image label, after that we have to create a security question label. Okay, so security question label. Okay, and we will use a label class, and this label will be on my root 2 window. The text that you will see will be security, security questions. Okay, then I'll set the font Times New Roman. Okay, after that the size is 19 and then I'll make it bold. Next thing is the foreground color, FG. FG will be black by default, and BG I'll make it white. Okay. Next thing is I'll simply place this label, security question label dot place, and where I'll place this, x equals to 60 and y will be 220. Okay. So after creating this security question label, the next thing is we have to create a combo box here. Okay, security question combo box. So let me create a security question combo, security question combo. Okay, and it will be a combo box. So for having a combo box, we have to import. So I'm going to import a line here. So I'm going to write here from tkinter import ttk. Okay, now with the help of this ttk we can access that class combo box, and this combo box will be inside our root 2 window. Okay, next thing is the font equals to Times New Roman. Then next will be the size will be 19 and then nothing. Okay, I will not make it anything. After that I'll make the state to read only. See, I'm just creating like the uh, like the way I created in this register.py, okay, where I made the state read only. The reason I told you there, that so that nobody can type there, okay, in that particular combo box. Okay, next thing is the values. Okay, so I have to insert the values. So values will be same. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to copy the values from here where I've created this combo box. So these are the values. So these will be the values only. Okay, so I'm going to copy it, and here I'll be pasting this. So security question combo, and here the values are simply paste. Okay, so the values are these values. Okay, so after adding the values, next thing is I will simply place this security question combo dot place, and where I'll place this, from x-axis at a distance of 60 and from y at a distance of 260, right? And I'll set the current value as select. Okay, so I'll write security question label, security question combo dot current. Okay, and I'll pass the 0th index. Okay, so this will be by default that you will see. So if I run at this position, see we got this security question field, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to provide some width to it. Okay, so I'm going to provide it some width. So here, just after this read only, I'm going to write width equals to 28. Okay, so just after creating the security question, okay, and setting the current value, then we have to answer forget label. Okay, so that will be a answer label. So I write answer forget label, or simply answer label. Okay, and here it will be a label. Okay, and this label will be inside our root 2 window. The text here will be answer. Okay, next thing is the font. So font and background color will be same. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy this and paste it. Okay, so font will be this and background color will be this. Next thing is we have to place it. So answer label dot place, and where I'll place it, from x-axis at a distance of 60 and from y-axis at a distance of 310. So if I run now, forget password. So see, we got this. Earlier I increased some width here. Now we added this answer label here. Okay, then I have to add the corresponding entry field and then confirm password. Oh, new password label and then entry field and then a button. So let me create an entry field for it. So it will be answer entry. Okay, we will use entry class, and this entry will be inside our root 2 window. Font equals to, it will be Times New Roman. Okay, the size here will be 19, and then the background color will be white. Okay, and then the width I'll use as 30. So I'll give a width of 30. Okay, then I'll simply place this. So answer entry dot place, and where I'll place this, from x-axis at a distance of 60 and from y-axis at a distance of 350. 350. Okay, so after creating this answer entry, then we have to create new pass label and new pass entry. Okay, So what I'll do, I'll simply copy these two and I'll paste it here. Okay, so this will be new password, new password, new password, and new password. So I'll change this name to new new password. Okay, new pass label. Okay, so here the text will change to new password, new password. Okay, and where I'll place this label, from x at a distance of 60 and from y at a distance of 400, 400. Okay, and similarly new pass entry, everything will be same here. Okay, x will be 60 and from y it will be 440. Okay, if I run now, text. Okay, forget password. So see, we got this answer, new password is right. Everything is done. Now what we need to do, we need to create a button here. Okay, change password button. So let's create that button. So just after creating this new password entry, I have to create a change password button. So change pass button. I'll be using a button class to create this button. Okay, this button will be on in our root to window. The text which you'll see is change password. Okay, after this the text, and then I need to change the font for this button. Okay, the font I will be using is Arial. The size will be 17 and then I'll make it bold. Okay, next thing is the background color. So background color that I have given is green. Okay, you can give any background color. Okay, and the color of the text will be changed to white. Okay, and then I'll give some more parameters like cursor equals to hand to, so that you can see hand to symbol when I move my cursor on that button. Okay, then similarly I'll provide active background, which will be similar to the background color green. Okay, so that when you press your mouse button on that button, then also you will see this green color. That is what this active background color means. Okay, similarly active foreground, and this will be the color of the text when you will click on that button. So you want to see the white color. That's it. And now what I'll do, I'll simply place this. So change pass button dot place, and where I'll place this, x equals to 130 and y equals to 500. Okay, now if I run this, and here if I enter the email address, okay, so cap at the rate gmail.com, and click on this forget password. So see, we are done, right? So this is the button that I created. I hope you guys have understood this, right? So it's very easy. If you want, you can remove the border from here. You can make border 0. Okay, so this is how I have created this. So now the functionality part. Okay, that suppose if I have forgot the password for this. Okay, this cap dot at the rate gmail.com, and I click on this forget password. Okay, so it will ask me the security questions. If I show you what are the security questions here for that particular email address, so the security question is your best friend and the answer is Faizan. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply match this two answers. Okay, I'll simply match these two answers. So I'll simply match that if the user is writing whatever the question you are selecting from here and the answer you are giving from here. These two, these two corresponding question and answer, whether they exist in that particular row or not. in this particular row or not. Okay, if these two exist, then you will be able to change your password. Otherwise, error message will be displayed that either security question or answer is wrong. Okay, so we will see how we can do the functionality for reset button.